Good evening. I've invested many hours studying the death penalty. I hope by the end of my talk you will agree that capital punishment is unethical and inhumane. The death penalty, commonly referred to as capital punishment, is ultimately defined as execution of an offender who has committed a criminal offense and has been sentenced to death after a conviction by a court of law. Offenses that constitute capital punishment includes murder, espionage, war crimes, crimes against humanity, genocides, and treasons. Once an offender has been sentenced to the death penalty, they are sent to death row. This typically a place in prison where inmates are housed that has been sentenced to death. In 2018 alone, 25 people were executed in the United States. According to CNN, currently the capital punishment is legal in 29 states in the United States, including Alabama and several of surrounding states, such as Florida, Georgia, Tennessee, and Mississippi. However, there are some states that has opted out of using the death penalty as punishment. They have either abolished the death penalty altogether or simply stopped using the death penalty as a part of their practice. Instead, many of those states have turned to life without parole as the maximum penalty. According to the Death Penalty Information Center, although there are other forms of execution available, such as lethal injection, is now the most widely used method execution. Ultimately, I take that capital punishment is unethical, unjust, and inhumane, therefore should be banned in all states. The question as to whether it is morally acceptable to execute a person which has been debated for many centuries. Is it ever ethical to deprive something so valuable such as their life? Ultimately, the death penalty places very little value on life. Instead, it devalues life. Allowing the state to inflict death on citizens indicates that it is okay to take a life. At the most basic level, the death of anyone, even a convicted murderer, reduces us all. Therefore, it cannot be done for the betterment of us as in a society. As a result, society must end this practice. When is it ever okay to justify taking a person's life, regardless of the crime? Everyone has a right to a human life, even those who committed heinous crimes. Therefore, sentencing a person to death violates that right, this making the death penalty unethical. How can we as society ever teach that killing is wrong when in return we are actually allowing killing to continue? The intent of the death penalty is to protect the public from mean and evil people. However, how can that not be achieved by specifically just placing a person in prison for the rest of their life without the possibility of ever getting parole? This, on the other hand, what if the system is wrong? What if the offender hasn't done anything? I mean, that's exactly what statistics shows, that at least 4.1% of all defendants sentenced to death in the United States are falsely accused and are innocent. In the United States alone, uh, according to Pilkington in 2014, 130 people who were sentenced to death has been found innocent and released from death row. Sorry. Although there have been cases where a person has been exonerated or even recognized as for being wrongfully accused, clearly there are some mistakes, and we are human, and the justice system can make mistakes. Witnesses, jurors, the judges, all can make mistakes. If we continue to use the death penalty as a capital punishment, innocent people will continue to be killed. How can we support a system that can kill a person and not be 100% certain that the person they're killing is the right person. There is no undo once an innocent person is killed. So that goes back to what I was saying. We should abolish the death penalty in all states. In my view, the death penalty is morally, socially, and politically wrong. However, the social, economic, and political costs, as such as retribution, are, in my opinion, too high. No man should be able to take away something so valuable, such as a life. By doing so, we are not only depriving a human life, but going against God's will. Every individual should be able and should be held accountable for their wrongdoing. However, murder is murder. It should be justified.